When I first thought of coming to the States, there are a couple of things I really wanted to see. One of those things was the geology, like the mesas and the buttes and the Grand Canyon and that sort of stuff, and that's still to come. The second thing was I want to see the Wild West, cowboy country, and that's where I am now. I've been taking a few photos of the entrances of various ranches to prove to myself that this is cowboy country. Wickenburg was full of cowboy memorabilia, most notably in the murals in the older parts of town, the Stagecoach Massacre Memorial and the old jail tree. This is the jail tree. From 1863 to 1890, outlaws and drunks were chained to this tree because they didn't have a jail or anywhere else to keep them. No one ever escaped. This is a monument to a well-known massacre. On November the 5th, in 1871, a stagecoach with 1 driver and 7 passengers were attacked by a group of Yavapai warriors. The driver and 5 of the passengers were killed instantly. 2 passengers managed to escape, and one of those, the only female, died of her wounds months later. This massacre changed white attitudes to the First Nations people. Previously seen as noble red men, they were now seen as murderous, marauding savages. Good morning. As you can see, I'm in a hotel room. I've had 2 nights here because I was pretty whacked after I came out of the desert and I needed a day's rest and I wanted to be a tourist for a day here in Wickenburg. Anyway, today I'm leaving in about 2 minutes' time and I'm going first 20 kilometres of fairly flat and then it's up into the mountains towards Prescott. It'll take me 2 days, possibly 2.5 or 2 and a bit anyway to get to Prescott. I'll have a couple of days up there being a tourist, and then it's across the mountains to Flagstaff and then from there to the Grand Canyon. The area I've been riding through the last few days is real cowboy country. Haven't seen much in the way of cattle, but I've seen horses quite a lot today. They're very quiet and placid. Most of them are just standing in the shade of their sheds. In fact, there's a lot more happening on the road than there is in the paddocks, I must say. The traffic is unbelievable. Between the traffic and the train that went past and the aeroplane that just went overhead, it's quite noisy. But anyway, I was in a museum yesterday and I saw that in the olden days the cowboys made fences out of a particular type of tree because they discovered that it was much cheaper and more practical to build a fence out of that than out of posts and wire. And there was an example in the museum, but I wasn't interested in taking photos in a museum. But now I have found an entrance to a ranch which has exactly that sort of fencing. You can see there's a few uprights. And then there's all these limbs that are just stacked one on top of the other and somehow intertwined. And apparently they always told the children not to play anywhere near those fences because the fences were a real haven for not just insects and lizards but also snakes and other things that bite, spiders and whatnot. So the fence has created an ecosystem of their own. See that the road goes there and then it goes around. Okay, today is Tuesday the something or other of April 2025, and today I ascended well over 800 metres, so I'm pretty proud of myself. The distance in total was just under 50 kilometres, which is fine, not staggeringly wonderful, but you know, to ascend over 800 metres for me, that's the record. And I'm going to have to do it again tomorrow. The first 30 kilometres was only at 1%, so that was okay. But after that, it went up really, really steeply, between 5% and 12%, and I ended up walking a lot of the way. But that's okay. It doesn't matter how you get up a hill or a mountain, so long as you get up. In fact, if anybody had stopped and offered me a ride, I probably would have accepted, because, you know, I don't care how I get up these steep mountains. Anyway, but the road was really good. It was double lane all the way up with a really wide shoulder, so I felt very safe the whole time, and I could actually stop and take photos and enjoy the scenery and all of that as I was chugging my way up this hill. I got to the town that I was aiming for, and I've forgotten the name again, Yarnell. I got to Yarnell about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I would have stopped a lot earlier for lunch, but there was absolutely no shade anywhere. But anyway, in Yarnell I found a memorial site which had a public toilet there and some shade that I could sit in, and so I had a nice long lunch there. And then I thought I would cycle another 17 kilometres, because it was all downhill, to an intersection. Then I saw there was a Chevron gas station at the 5 kilometre mark, so I pulled in there for a coffee, and I just happened to ask the lady if she knew of anywhere where I could camp, and she said, keep going down the road till you get to the pile of a whole lot of propane tanks, and you turn in the road there and you can camp there. So here, it's a very windy road to get up here. Steep gradients, real mountain stuff, but the environment is completely different. There are lots of trees. I haven't seen trees for a while, but these are real trees, not just scrubby little things. It's been quite a job to get up here, I must say. But I'm just taking it bit by bit, resting often. As you can probably hear, there's a howling wind right up here, though that hasn't been noticeable so far. But it's actually a cool wind, which is nice because the temperature's over 30 degrees. Okay, elevation 6,100 feet. So I'm guessing roughly 2,000 metres or thereabouts. Everybody else goes up with a car or a truck or a motorbike, but I made it up with a bicycle. And now that I'm up here, I'm going to enjoy the view for a minute because I deserve it. And I'm going to enjoy every inch of going down. I'm going to go down and just love every centimetre, every inch, because I deserve this.